Hello, celestial beings. Is it me, or is March literally flying by? I feel like January and February were like trudging through mud, and now we're on the wings of Mercury, flying through time and space. That could be because we've moved out of a lot of the old energy of earth and water and into this new energy of fire and air. And by the way, when I say that, I don't mean that earth and water are old energy. I mean that they're the energy we've been experiencing collectively for a long time, and now we're shifting into a new cycle. And I am so excited for the next few days ahead and the upcoming astrology. And hi, it's me, Mel, aka Pocket Mystic, and I am on a mission to make mysticism more accessible and supportive through tarot readings, astrological updates, and guided meditations that fit seamlessly into your schedule. So today we're going to be talking about the new moon in Pisces, the equinox, the start of the astrological new year, and Mercury going direct, baby. So much is packed into just a few days, but I am happy to report that it is good energy. Yes, thank you, please. We need it, right? And we'll start with the astrology, and then we'll have a tarot spread to help you work with this energy. Before the tarot spread, I'll also have some little tips about how to work with the astrological new year and the spring equinox. And I just have to say, I went to this creative workshop weekend with Elizabeth Gilbert in Amsterdam over the weekend, and it was just so amazing. I had to meet such amazing people, and she guided us into this like shamanic journey where we went and met one of our ancestors in the past. And my ancestor told me a bunch of things that I won't bore you guys with, but she said that I was going to get a blue feather that I needed to put on my altar so I could every day remember the connection, our connection to source, to the universe, whatever you would like to call it. And I was like, a blue feather? How am I going to get a blue feather? I was literally walking right before I recorded this huge feather dropped from the sky. I'm like, well, it's black though. But I went to pick it up anyway. And it's like one of those things where you see it in the right light. It's like this beautiful blue color. So it just like was so reaffirming and exciting. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. I'm so happy to be here with you talking about all of these exciting things that we have going on. Okay, so let's start with the new moon. But before we do that, I want to remind you that in 2026, we are asking ourselves, how good could it be? How good could it be? That's the question we're going to have our little mind, our little trickster working on, because we want it focused on how good things could be. And also remember, we are just going for it. Like literally, why not? Look at everything that is happening. Who cares? Go with your soul's alignment and watch the magic unfold. Okay, so the new moon. We are out of eclipse season. Whew. And this new moon is for planting intentions, right? No more eclipses means we can plant again, and the new moon. Okay, and we have a new moon in 28 degrees of Pisces on March 18th at 9:23 p.m. Eastern. If you're into that sort of thing, I, of course, believe you can work with this energy. It doesn't have to be the precise time. For me, I will be in bed because it will be like, I don't know, 3 a.m. my time or so. Okay, anyways. This isn't a moon just for intention planting, but since it's in these last degrees of Pisces, I also want you to take some time to reflect on what you've learned the past 12 months. I did this myself this morning, and I was like, okay, I'm going to write 12 things that I've learned or accomplished or I'm proud of in the last 12 months. And the first few came easy, and then I was like, God, 12, that's so many. But I'm so happy I went all the way to 12 because I really realized how much I have grown this past year and all the things I'm starting to see unfold around me, even if they are not totally materialized yet. So I really think it's a great time to do that because Pisces is the very end of the astrological wheel, right? It's the most wise sign of the zodiac because it's taking all of the lessons of the signs that came before it. And this is at the very end of Pisces. So it's a new moon with a lot of depth and a lot of wisdom. And that's why I'm saying take some time to reflect. And through your reflections, then build out your intentions. And if you're like, wait, I already did my intention setting back in January or with the winter solstice, that's fine. You're probably like, man, these months have not been going as planned. So we're going back and we're reimagining at these intentions. Normally with new moons, I suggest focusing your intentions on wherever in your chart, whatever house this is lighting up. So for me, for example, it's lighting up my 9th house, which is a house of travel, spirituality, publishing. I do have a book coming out this year. It has nothing to do with what I talk about here. So I may or may not share it. But anyway, so you can, focus your new moon intentions if you want on that area that's going to be highlighted, or you can focus them just generally on the astrological new year, everything that's coming up. For me, I did it, and actually all of my intentions regarding my 9th house are like my intentions for the new year, probably because I have a book coming out. But anyways, if you feel like, oh, this is redundant because I'm also going to be setting intentions with the astrological new year, then just focus on the part that Pisces is lighting up for you. And as always, if you want to leave your rising sign, I can tell you what area that will be for you. You can just put it in the comments. Okay, so when it comes to setting new moon intentions, I'm a firm believer in really writing out your intentions. And then as you're honoring the new moon, taking time to imagine yourself getting that, like receiving that or that happening, whatever the item is on your list. What does it feel like in your body? Where does it light you up? How does it change your current day? This is an important part of the intention setting process because you're trying to get your body comfortable with it coming true. If your body is like, I have no idea what that will look like if it comes true, your mind doesn't trust things, right? That it doesn't know the outcome to. But if you start showing it what it could look like, it's going to be much more comfortable and less likely to push it away, right? We're like titrating our mind, our body with this new experience that we want so that when it starts to come our way, we're ready for it. We're able to receive. Okay, so that's Wednesday. And then I would honestly just spend some time meditating on how these intentions feel until you get to the 20th when we are at the equinox, aka the astrological new year and Mercury going direct. Because again, that's the really powerful portal of new year, new astrological cycle intention setting. So maybe as you're sitting with what you plant in the new moon, you kind of can start to refine it to really get what you want for this powerful window of time. Of course, as you know, I believe at any time that you want to change your trajectory, whether it's the astrological new year or whatever, go for it. Okay, so let's talk about Mercury first. Yes, the time of testing is over, and now on the 20th, we are finally getting our planet of communication and technology back in its direct position, making things less haywire. But I hate to temper this excitement. You might not feel the fog quite lifting, and that's because, yes, Mercury is going direct, but it is still in Pisces, and it does not do very well in Pisces. Pisces is watery, it's emotional, and Mercury won't be in fiery Aries where it does much better, although be careful of heated conversations, right? Okay, until April 14th. So I'm just saying I would still check yourself before you say something, read your email twice, check the calendar invite, and be patient. This is some of that titrating I was talking about between the new and the old energy. Okay, but it's going direct. Woo! And we have the astrological new year starting as it always does on the equinox. Of course, if you study ancient Latin, which, why would you? I don't know, cool hobby. Basically, equinox, it means like equal night and equal day. It technically means equal night, but that's the time of the year. We have it twice, right? When we have the same amount of light as we do night. I don't know why that was so hard for me to say because I'm not following my notes. And so if you're in the northern hemisphere, it's the spring equinox. And if you're in the southern hemisphere, it is the autumn equinox. Okay, so also the reason I'm saying it's the astrological new year is the wheel of astrology starts with Aries. So that's a first sign. So we're starting over the astrological cycle. That's why we call it the astrological new year. So some great things that you can do to celebrate this are set intentions. And if you're like Mel, we're setting them at the new moon. I'm intentioned out. All right, you do you. But this does give us a chance to double down on them in a very powerful portal. And I like to take whatever help I can get. So I will be doing it twice. And with this one, I think it's really powerful if you write your manifestations on little scraps of paper and then literally plant each one and envision it coming into bloom. Another thing, spring cleaning, baby. Out with the old to make room for the new that you are calling in. This is a great way to clear out old energy, old beliefs, so that you can bring the new ones in. Spending time in nature is always a great choice. I would recommend it every day, but it's especially great on this day. I love to walk by plants that especially stand out to me and tell them that I think they're beautiful. Sometimes I think they tell me that back. So 10 out of 10 would recommend. And if deity work is in your practice, you can work with Ostara, the goddess of spring and dawn, or you can welcome back the lovely Persephone up out of the underworld and here to enjoy spring with us. I love to work with Persephone, so I'd highly recommend this. Of course, if you're on the southern hemisphere, you'll do this in the reverse. You will welcome Persephone into the underworld. What are you getting into down there? And then I also think it's just a great day to buy yourself flowers, wear something bright that brings you joy, cook with lots of herbs to celebrate all this new life coming into bloom. And since it's the start of an astrological new year, I also recommend pulling 12 cards for yourself. I'll do it for the collective, but one for each astrological season to see what lessons or themes are going to be highlighted in that season. Today, I'm going to be doing it for the collective, as I said. So let me go pull some cards, but I do recommend doing it for yourself. Okay, I'm going to go pull the cards. It's so funny to me because I always shuffle my cards until it feels right. So I feel like, okay, it's time to pull. And today they took an especially long time. I think they're doing their own spring cleaning. Okay, but here we go. The cards have spoken, and here is what they want us to know. And as always, please remember we're asking, how good could this be for me? Okay, starting strong, we have Aries with the 6 of Swords. So the astrological new year opens with the 6 of Swords, which is a card of deliberate passage, of leaving turbulent waters for calmer shores. Hopefully we see this play out on the world stage, right? And not just, in our own communities, although that's great too. But what a departure this is. The duo of Saturn conjunct Neptune at Aries only occurs about every 300-ish years. And at 0 degrees, astrologers don't know the last time it happened. So it makes it a truly mind-blowing reset point, right? The most precise reset point you could ever get to. And the collective has been in this fog and dissolution of Neptune and Pisces for over a decade. And now we finally are rowing the boat forward. We're bruised, we're wary, but we are moving. And Mars can join Saturn at 7 degrees in Aries in late April, giving the journey real thrust, real movement and commitment. So this isn't like a triumphant arrival, right? It's not going to feel like, oh, everything's new, but it's a necessary and hard-earned transition. The Six of Swords here is saying, grieve what you're leaving, but keep rowing. Then for Taurus season, we have the Empress. And I love this because I love the Empress, and I actually have a stellium in Taurus with my Sun, Jupiter, and Mercury all in the 11th house. Yes, I know you can be jealous. But anyways, the Empress is so Taurus coded. Taurus is ruled by Venus after all. And after the strained crossing of this Aries season, the Empress is like a lush exhale. So Venus will enter Taurus on April 30th in Taurus season, entering her own domain, and the Empress arrives to tend to what has been planned, what we're planning in this astrological new year, right? And Chiron briefly dips into Taurus this year for the first time since 1983. Turning our collective attention toward healing material insecurity. Yes, please. Redefining worth. Now, the Empress here is not passive abundance. She is generative. She's asking the collective to nurture the seeds of this new Aries era. That is hard for me to say. To rest in the body, to trust that nature knows how to do what needs to be done. And Venus in her home sign amplifies all of this: sensuality, creativity, the wisdom of cycles. It's a deeply restorative and fertile season. This is where something new begins to grow roots. This is long-term building. This takes time, and it needs to be from a rooted, connected place. And the rootedness will be important because we do have Uranus entering Gemini during Taurus season on April 25th. Now, Uranus rules revolution and our nervous systems. And in Gemini, it is like a lightning bolt. Uranus in Gemini sometimes is associated with war. Okay, I didn't want to say it, but I said it. Okay. And I have a very old, actually one of my very first videos about this, if you want to understand more about what Uranus and Gemini is going to look like. But that's why I'm saying this rootedness of what are we nurturing, what are we growing is going to be important in the midst of whatever Uranus is going to do when it hits Gemini. And also Uranus moving into Gemini is one of the last outer social planet shifts that gets us into this new air fire energy. Now we move into Gemini season and we have the 10 of Swords. So this might feel like a sharp pivot from like, okay, we're moving to calmer shores and now we're the Empress and we're planting. But we do have Uranus squaring the North Node in Gemini season, and we're almost fully into the air fire era. We're just waiting for Jupiter to move into Leo at the end of June, which will be in Cancer season. But the 10s are like the last chapter in a tarot, right? We're at the end of this. This is the final before we shift fully into this new air fire era. And the 10 of Swords hits hard here and the skies echo it. So sorry to harp more on Uranus entering Gemini, but it first did this in 2025. So we got a sneak peek of that. And now it's returning April 26th, bringing potential upheaval in communication, education, travel, and science, and commerce. And commerce, which is Jupiter's realm, which is going to be shifting into Leo. And then Uranus will trine Pluto in mid-July with a first hit in this Gemini ingress period and squares the North Node in June, as I said. All of this will activate sudden revelations and forced endings. So the illusion is fully breaking with Gemini season. The 10 of Swords is the card of, and yet the sun still rises. Something is over. Narratives, right? We're talking about the collective. We are finally putting to death specific narratives that have been ruling us as a collective, systems of information. I don't know what's going on with these social media, all the lawsuits. How is that going to change things? And perhaps dominant ideological stories that we have been telling ourselves. We are finally going to break through whatever those illusions are here in Gemini season. The blow will land. But importantly, with Gemini energy, what's dying here is mental. It's outdated thinking. It's false consensus. It's deliberate misinformation. So this is probably going to feel like, sometimes when you see the truth, it's ugly, right? And some of you are like, I already see the truth. Great, amazing. Help your neighbors, okay? But it's necessary. We are clearing the mental plane with this to really prepare for this new change. And if you follow human design, 2027 is literally bringing us into a 450-year shift. Okay, so Gemini, Uranus and Gemini, we're going to have these like big realizations. The illusion is going to totally break. And then in Cancer season, we get the High Priestess, and this is literally so juicy. Cancer season is going to be juicy. July is going to be juicy, okay? So some of that into Leo season. But we have Jupiter finally moving into Leo on June 30th, I think. So at the start of Cancer season, towards the start. And we have so much happening with the outer planets in all of July, and it is shaping up to be a lucky month, baby. So after we break through this illusion, we are going inward. We are finding that our power, our needs, our satisfaction are already within us. We don't need anything. And actually, I want to get my notebook because Elizabeth Gilbert said something really interesting about that this weekend. Hold, please. Okay, apparently I didn't write it down. But it was something about how capitalism basically fails when we realize that we have what we need already. Like, we did this list of enchantment and like almost none of the things required money, So anyway, yes, we become the masters of the mystery and the alchemy. And after this Gemini sort of bloodletting, the High Priestess steps forward and says, "Be still, listen beneath the noise." Jupiter enters Leo on June 29th, not the 30th, just as Cancer season closes in. But before that, Jupiter is still in Cancer. So at the start of Cancer season, Jupiter is there. And this season sees Jupiter in its exaltation, expanding intuition, emotional wisdom, and ancestral memory. I have been seeing and reading so many people working with their ancestors, and I love it. And the North Node shift from Pisces to Aquarius on July 26th means that this Cancer season sits at a nodal crossroads. An old soul contract is completing. It's done. We have new ones that we are going to be encountering. And the High Priestess is the keeper of what cannot yet be spoken. So we are going to be seeing and feeling a lot that we don't have words for totally. Because she holds the mystery between this old eclipse access and the new one. So this isn't going to be a season to look for answers. This is going to be a time of looking for the question beneath the question. This is going to be time for introspection, even if we're out on the water having the time of our lives. And that is going to pay off for us because then with Leo season, we have the 10 of Cups. So the rainbow after the storm. And what a beautiful sky it is. And as we talked about, Jupiter is going into Leo, so it will be in Leo at the start of Leo season. And it immediately begins forming like these really magnificent aspects. There is so much astrology happening in July, so in Cancer season and into Leo season. You have Jupiter trining Neptune, you have it sextiling Uranus, you have a Sun-Jupiter conjunction that lights up the sky, and the 10 of Cups is the card of collective joy, of chosen family, of looking for what we've built and feeling it is enough. So we're gonna realize, like back to the quote I was trying to find that I couldn't find, through this time of the High Priestess, we're kind of realizing, wait, like I have all the elements to make me happy here. And now that I'm not following that story that got broken through in Gemini season, I can see it and I can enjoy it. And I'm not buying what you're selling me anymore. And we're going to feel that, like collectively, we're going to be like, you guys, this is great. You know, the heart is breaking open rather than apart. Communities are coming together. It's like heart healing, heart opening, and it's a luminous window. It is a luminous window. So I'm so excited for this time of year. I will be so excited to hang out with you guys during that time. Okay, and then Virgo, we have the Nine of Swords. If you've been around here, you know Nine of Swords I think is the hardest card in the tarot, but also just usually when it shows up for you, you're like, I knew it. Okay. So, you know, it's a card of the 3am anxiety. Our mind is torturing itself. And after the joy and eclipse energy of Leo, reality sort of will reassert itself during Virgo season. Probably with a sobering edge because I got these swords here, right? So we're going to kind of go through this period of like the illusion breaks. Oh my gosh, I you know, doing this like deep inner work, and I realized, wait a second, like everything that I love is right here. The people that I love are right here. And I've been, you know, this lie that I was buying was keeping me from being connected to all of this. That's right here. But then we're probably going to step into Virgo season and see like, yeah, but there's still some things that need to shift in the world, right? We're not totally getting rid of this establishment or are we? I don't know. Anyways, and then Venus stations retrograde on October 3rd, which is just after Virgo season ends, but its shadow period begins in mid-Virgo season. So we will be revisiting what we thought was resolved in relationships and in values. We will have Saturn in retrograde through Aries all through this period, and Pluto will also be in retrograde, but Pluto's in retrograde a lot. And the collective is kind of processing here, but not progressing outwardly. So it's kind of like if you've ever had this like personal realization and then like felt this immense joy, and then you're like, wait, but I keep repeating the same patterns. Like we're going to be seeing that at a collective level and be like, okay, we have to, well, yeah, now I can see the vision, but like we have to actually take steps to do something about it, which is great because Virgo is great at that. But because we have the Nine of Swords here, we might not feel very clear about how to take those steps. So I mean, Virgo's gift is discernment, right? But its shadow is worry. And Nine of Swords is a worry card. So we're in its shadow here. But the Nine of Swords will ask, what story are we telling ourselves at 3am? And is it true? And is it probably the story of nothing's ever going to change or become that beautiful vision that I saw in Leo? And so it will be really important for healing work, for body-centered practices, and honest self-examination during this season. There was another quote that was basically like, if you're too stuck in your head, have a sensation. So yeah, getting in your body, right? What's true in your body, not what's true in your mind during this time. And then for Libra season, we have the Three of Cups Yes. Okay. Okay. Ooh, a little rough in Virgo. Three of Cups. What a gorgeous turn. The Three of Cups erupts into Leo season, like when you get to see your best friend after a long distance and she is celebrating you and you are celebrating her or him or them. Okay. It is the card of friendship. It is a card of celebration, of sisterhood, and communal joy. And Venus retrograde does begin on October 3rd, right? So first it's backing through Scorpio, intense feels, and then into Libra. And this retrograde will revisit the question of who we truly belong to and what our relationships are really built upon. So the Three of Cups here has this sort of nuance. The realization that we had at Leo season, the celebration of that realization is real, but it's also a time of reckoning with who has stayed, who has grown, and whether the connections we're toasting are as deep as they appear. So you're kind of like, ooh, we're all on the same page. Then we all kind of are like, wait, I don't know. I'm looking around. Things aren't that different. And then Libra, you're kind of seeing like who is actually going to be a part of building this new world with us and who is still sort of clinging to the old systems. But the predominant energy is warmth, it's community, it's feminine solidarity. So gather your people, make your art, let laughter be the medicine. And then I thought this would be 15 minutes. Okay. And then for Scorpio season, we have the Queen of Wands, which is my favorite tarot card. And the Queen of Wands is striding into Scorpio season like she owns the room, because she does. Right? She does. She's magnetic. She's sovereign. She's unafraid of the dark. She knows who she is and she knows her value. And Venus retrograde will conclude on November 13th. So having back through Scorpio and Libra and surfacing these hidden relational truths, which, you know, Scorpio loves a hidden relational truth that gets surfaced. And the Queen of Wands, as this collective energy here, says that whatever Venus retrograde dredged up, we're not crumbling. We're transmuting this, right? So you're seeing, you know what, that person isn't building this new world with me. That's fine. Let me put my energy elsewhere. Or, ooh, that thing we tried, it didn't really work. Okay, that's fine. Let's change it, you know? Or this thing I thought meant a lot to me, I'm realizing doesn't. But I'm realizing this thing does, right? And Scorpio's depths will fuel her fire rather than extinguish it. So Jupiter will oppose the North Node and create tension between expansion and collective direction. But the Queen of Wands knows how to hold this tension without dissolving into it. So this is a season of reclaiming power that was perhaps surrendered or ignored. And then we get into Sagittarius season. Unfortunately, Five of Wands, which is interesting because astrologically, it's sort of a calm month, it's a calm period. But we basically have these five figures who are all fighting for the same hilltop. No one is willing to collaborate. And then we have Mars conjunct Jupiter, Leo, in mid-November, just as Sagittarius season opens up. So that kind of like is lighting a fire under everyone's ambitions and opinions. And Sagittarius is a sign of beliefs, philosophies, and the search for the truth. And the Five of Wands suggests those beliefs systems are clashing, which makes sense, right? We're having this big collective realization. And some people want to move forward and some people don't. They want to take the mic and say, wait. Or they want to move to something that feels worse. Okay, so it's ideological friction, it's competitive energy, it's fiery debate. And it's not necessarily catastrophic. We're asking, how good could this be? So sometimes the Five of Wands is creative sparring that leads to synthesis, but it requires conscious effort not to let it devolve into ego battles. So the invitation here is fight for your vision, not just against someone else's. Like, why does your vision have merit and why might theirs have merit? Can we come to a place here? And then we move to Capricorn season with the Knight of Swords. And the Knight of Swords charges in with a message that just can't wait. Okay, we're sitting here fighting, and it's like, wait. I got something to tell you. This is the fastest, sharpest card in the deck. It's decisive, perhaps reckless, and it cuts through what needs to be cut. As Capricorn season opens, Saturn direct in Aries is building momentum, and Jupiter stations retrograde in Leo in mid-December, meaning personal and collective ambitions are being reevaluated, even as the night pushes forward. There's a quality sort of ready or not, here we come. So decisions that are made in Capricorn season will carry structural weight, right? We have this intersection with Saturn, which is all about structure, that will echo into 2027. And the Nine of Swords warns against speed without discernment. Just because you want to rush to the new future, me too. We still need discernment. We still need building. We still need structure, okay? But it also affirms that sometimes the time for deliberation has passed and now it's time for acting, right? We're at this period, we're kind of coming towards the end of the year of the fire horse, which is drag or be dragged. So it's like, we gotta go. We gotta run. We've got this last sprint here. And then we have Aquarius season, which is the Wheel of Fortune. And the Wheel of Fortune near the close of the astrological year. And guess what? At the biggest human design shift, which is we're shifting out of the cross of planning into the cross of the sleeping phoenix. This is literally breathtaking. What goes around comes around, and the wheel is most definitely turning. So Jupiter is retrograde in Leo and returns to Cancer on January 28th. And then Jupiter literally moves backwards to revisit what we learned in 2026 at Cosmic Review, like the Wheel of Fortune. And the Leo Aquarius eclipse axis continues to activate throughout this period, with collective themes of the individual versus the powerful, creativity versus conformity. And the Wheel of Fortune in Aquarius, it's a sign of collective humanity. It suggests fate is not personal right now. The tides are turning for everyone. Everyone is in this together. We're all coming into a new reality together simultaneously. And this is a season to trust the larger cycle, to release the illusion of control, and to recognize that we are part of something much bigger than our individual story, because destiny is in motion, which is interesting because as we're moving into the cross of the sleeping phoenix, we'll be focused more on individual truths, but we'll still be sort of in this collective energy, but it will look very different than the collective energy for the last 450 years. Okay, we're almost done. Thank you for sticking with me if you did. Okay, so then for Pisces season, we have the Emperor. And the year closes with the Emperor in Pisces, one of the most fascinating and tension-filled combinations in the spread. The Emperor is the sign of Aries, right? So Pisces is the end and Aries is the beginning, and the Emperor represents that. And the Emperor is structure, authority, boundary, and world mastery. And Pisces, on the other hand, is dissolution, surrender, the mystic, and the boundless. So we have Mercury retrograde in Aquarius Pisces running through early March 2027, and Mars is retrograde in Leo through January. Then we have Cancer coming in. Multiple planets are in review mode as this final season unfolds. And the Emperor in Pisces is not a contradiction. It's the completion of the year's lessons. After all the journeying, the grief of Aries, the heartbreak of Gemini, the joy of Leo, the confusion of Virgo, the collective is being asked to embody its wisdom with structure and intentionality. So don't drift, don't escape. Pisces will tell you to. But keep building the dream, the Pisces dream of collectivity. Okay, this needs to be the end, into reality. So build the dream into reality. The Emperor knows the true authority doesn't conquer the mystery. It learns to govern from within it. So I will leave you with that. I am so excited. I hope you're excited. If you stayed for this, I love you. If you didn't, I understand. Anyways, Happy New Year. Happy new Astrological New Year. Would love to hear what you're setting and your intentions, and talk to you soon.